Scots school children will show racism the red card as part of a new government initiative against bigotry and discrimination. The Scottish Government has teamed up with the UK's leading anti-racism educational charity to fund their Captains project that sees children and young adults given the opportunity to shape the future of education in the country. More than 50 captains were accepted to the programme from 4 different age brackets and different ethnic minorities. The young people selected will use their voices and experiences of racism to help shape future changes around the curriculum and adapt education for a modern Scotland. During the process, they will be given the opportunity to cast an eye over documents before they become policy. A recent survey from Show Racism the Red Card Scotland found that 65% of school staff said they were aware of pupils at their school expressing misconceptions, stereotypes or negative attitudes relating to racism. Of the 743 staff members surveyed, just over 25% reported that they had received any training on how to integrate anti-racism into their school. Education Secretary Shirley Ann Somerville said, "We are already looking to make the teaching workforce. We are looking to see what needs to change in the curriculum to make sure the curriculum is relevant for everyone within our schools. But importantly, when we are making policies, absolutely need to have young people front and centre of everything that we are doing. They're such an important voice. Perhaps too often in the past, young people haven't had the place in the policy making that they deserve." 2 senior pupils at Eastwood High School, Aliyah Abbas and Amina Khan, were selected as captains. Aliyah told how she feels Muslims like her are unfairly targeted when there is a terrorist attack. "It makes me feel uneasy. I don't think I should be blamed for something that I have not done." Both captains are passionate about tackling subtle racism in curriculum and misconceptions around Islam in schools and wider society. Aliyah added, "In primary school we call peach the skin colour, even though that's not the skin colour for everybody. It's a small thing, but we brush over them. Everybody should feel safe in their own skin and not feel like they have to be a shade lighter or a shade darker." Aminia has already enacted change in what is taught at her school, as she has requested teachers change a number of things in the textbooks, which she highlighted as offensive. "From my experience, some of the materials have been straight up racist, and that's really unacceptable. So introducing a system that filters out any racist language and undertones and alienation that the Muslim students feel after reading that in the curriculum." Captains will be from age groups at primary school, secondary school, school leavers and those in higher and further education to help highlight widespread issues with racism at all levels of learning in Scotland. Chris Priestley, senior education worker at Show Racism the Red Card, said, "Young people have a profound sense of justice. They are really alert that in terms of race equality there is a lot to be done. It's about saying, do we support you to have a voice, to platform that voice in a way that has an impact, to let them provide feedback, scrutiny and insight as we try to reform education." The £43,000 spread across the 19 local councils isn't groundbreaking amount of money for the charity. The £43,000 spread across the 19 local councils isn't a groundbreaking amount for the charity. Mr Priestley said it was adequate in helping them platform young people's voices. As a charity, we are reliant on funding to do that, and I think that the Scottish Government is putting money in different areas, which is why the sum of a specific role may seem small. I would prefer greater funding as it would expand our reach, but I am realistic that this is potentially where the level of interest is in anti-racist agenda at the minute. We hope to prove that to everyone that is worthy of more interest in investment in the future. There's 2 short video clips to follow. It's in the respect of Show Racism the Red Card and also the school and pupils which I mentioned earlier on.
True, and they also follow the misconceptions that are found within the media.
So that response would be different if you have no response.
We are already looking to make the teaching workforce more diverse. We're looking to see what needs to change in the curriculum to make sure the curriculum's relevant for everyone within our schools. But we importantly, when we're making policies, absolutely need to have young people front and centre of everything that we're doing. They're such an important voice, and perhaps too often in the past, they haven't had the respect and the place within policy making that they deserve.
From my experience, some of the materials have been just straight up racist, and I think that is really unacceptable. So introducing this system where the materials go through sort of like a filter that filters out any racist language, the undertones and sort of the alienation of the Muslim students that they feel after reading it.
Two high school pupils from East Renfrewshire have been selected for a new project to remove racism from the Scottish curriculum. They and other pupils across the country will use their own experiences to highlight offensive material and shape how schools deal with racist attitudes. Greg Ockram reports.
Passionate with a profound sense of justice, teenagers Alia and Amina are using their voice to eradicate racism from the Scottish curriculum. The pair are now captains as part of a charities campaign to bring education in line with a modern Scotland.
In RE and modern studies, some of the materials have been just straight up racist, and I think that is really unacceptable.
In primary, we call peach the skin colour, even though that's not the skin colour for everybody. And even though it's a small thing, it's we've brushed over them. We should focus more on small details.
A survey of school staff for this academic year found nearly 2/3 were aware of a pupil or pupils expressing misconceptions, stereotypes or negative attitudes relating to racism, and only a quarter said they're trained appropriately to include anti-racism teaching in their school. The year-long project is running across 19 different authorities with a budget of £43,000.
I'm realistic that this is potentially where the level of interest in this anti-racist agenda perhaps is at the minute, and we hope to prove to everyone that it is worthy of more interest and more investment in the future.
The two captains from Eastwood High School will be among more than 50 from around the country from 4 different age cohorts. They'll be given the opportunity to change the way we look at racism education in Scotland, and they'll be given the opportunity to look at documents never seen before and to scrutinise those in power.
We are already looking to make the teaching workforce more diverse. We're looking to see what needs to change in the curriculum. But we importantly, when we're making policies, absolutely need to have young people front and centre of everything that we're doing.
Given a voice like never before, those vying for change may finally be heard. Greg Ockram, STV News.